Hello everyone, this is Daryl Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. Today we're going to try not to put too many placards into this video to illustrate this, but we want to inform you, my fellow citizens, business owners, etc. My name is Daryl Guberman. I'm the CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut, and also we assist companies in the implementation, registration, ISO certification, all derivatives. Today this video is about what is FARA, Understanding the Foreign Agents Registration Act. Quality expert Daryl Guberman explains. American leaders have been concerned about foreign influence since the country's infancy, when George Washington was giving his farewell speech. He said, and he warned, that the passion for one's political party opens the door to foreign influence and corruption. Congress passed the Foreign Agents Registration Act in 1938 to address rising concerns about Nazi propaganda. In the years following World War II, when the arcane law applies, the United States has required foreign agents to comply with stringent disclosures and requirements. But penalties for violating the FARA Act are exceedingly rare because, among other hurdles, the law says someone must have acted willfully in skirting its requirements. Considered between 1966 and 2015, the Department of Justice, which also sits on ANSI's board, you'll see that shortly, Department of Justice brought only 7 criminal FARA cases, and there are only 3 convictions. The Department of Justice has instead stressed efforts to encourage foreign agents voluntarily comply. When you hear voluntarily comply, your ears should go up, because nothing's a voluntarily comply deal. But with the Department of Justice being involved with ANSI, voluntary consensus standards, it's not voluntary. The Department of Justice agreed with 14 recommendations for the improvement and enforcement and administration of FARA, made in a 2016 audit by the Department of Justice Office of Inspector General. Now, that same Office of Inspector General is going into Boeing as the watchdog. But ladies and gentlemen, the Department of Justice sits on ANSI's board, right over by Boeing, right over by the FAA. Do you think they're going to do anything constructive? They're watchdogging over the FAA. And by the way, in 2009, Boeing was made an FAA regulator, so how could one regulator watch over another? And this is the stuff that they're not allowing out into the media. They're not allowing you to know that every time you sit your ass on one of those seats of a Boeing aircraft, you don't know where those parts came from, because that's basic. Boeing doesn't know sometimes either, I would imagine, because in 2002, just as a sidebar, Boeing had a supplier bulletin. Go to their suppliers and say, look, just get AS9100 certified as long as it's accredited by ANSI ANAB. Why? Because Boeing sits on the board of ANSI ANAB that can grant, suspend, and withdraw certification. Why? Because Boeing requires that on their supplier portal. Must be ANSI ANAB or internationally equivalent. And number 3, they sit on the board that grants, suspends, and withdraws certification. I had to do that again. They call it out on the supplier portal. They do it on that bulletin, and it's absolutely disgusting, ladies and gentlemen. They have the whole thing constricted, and then they basically say, as long as you're ANSI ANAB accredited on the AS9100 for aerospace, you don't have to worry about it. We don't have to come in to visit you. See ya, for 22 years. So you really don't know. But getting back to this, there are huge gaps in what is being disclosed in general, and certainly a lack of timely disclosures on a uniform basis. So you have a situation like this. Now, by the way, I was down most recently supporting Sam Salipar, speaking about Boeing. Boeing, who gave up their inspection for special processes to Performance Review Institute. Just send us your PRI certificate, and we don't have to come out. Boeing doesn't have to come out to inspect you for 22 years. That was in April of 2002. In July of 2002, they came out with a supplier bulletin. It said, send in your AS9100 certificate, as long as it's ANAB accredited, ANSI ANAB accredited, and send us your parts so we don't have to come to visit you on-site audit for 22 years. And then they have it on their supplier portal. Must be ANSI ANAB or internationally equivalent. And the final item is this, is that they also sit on ANSI's board that can grant, suspend, or withdraw certification. You can't make this up, ladies and gentlemen. So You have ANSI-ANAB, which is a not-for-profit, non-governmental corporation that has federal agencies and corporations on board. One of the ways they break these issues is through APAC. They have all these acronyms. The Asia Pacific Accreditation Cooperation, as you can see, the highlighted. Remember that President Biden put sanctions on these countries like Iran, like China and Russia, and the United States sits on APAC too, so they can work their magic and say, screw the sanctions. I'm going to leave it here. I think that's enough information right now for FARA. We are going to do another part to this. My telephone number is 203-556-1493 or Daryl, tqrs@yahoo.com. I want to leave it here. I think this is a breaking in of the information of this issue, and it is an issue indeed. I'll talk to you soon.